Well, good Tuesday night. As you see, I'm in the green room. Let me grab my camera. And bring it a little closer. Don't feel like I'm so far away from y'all talking to you. Now I gotta get me a sipper. Throat's dry. But anyway, here we are Tuesday night, sitting in the green room. In a few hours, it'll be February 1st. I'm excited because it's one more day closer to springtime, and I cannot wait for springtime. I am such a damn hurry. I'm tired of being cold. Now, there are a few things I've been working on. Nothing really important-wise to you all, but to me it's kind of important. I found a couple of new recipes I've been working on, kind of playing with, critiquing a little bit. And yeah, I've never made bread that involves putting a raw egg and cornmeal and there's a certain seed I can't think of what's called top of my head. It's a European kind of seed. And there's something else you gotta stick in it too. And I've never made bread. Now I've made dessert breads that had eggs in it, but an actual, slice the bread to make a sandwich kind of bread, I've never put eggs in any of my dough mixtures, ever. It's always been sugar, yeast, water, whatever little minor things you put in it. You never stick eggs in it. But I'm trying something new, and if it turns out, my ass is going to be making a lot more. If I got to fix my hat, I look up, I'm almost retarded in this thing. Yeah, I know I shouldn't use the word retarded. That's offensive. It's not politically correct anymore. It's physically challenged people now. This damn world. It's going to hell in a handbasket. But the recipe I got it from came from it came from a friend of mine, but there was another similar recipe that was in one of my great grandmother's books. Now, my grandfather, let me rephrase this. My great grandfather and my great grandmother were both immigrants, and they came over here in the late 1800s and early 1900s. Now, this is on my dad's mother's side, and my great grandfather was 100% Sicilian, and my great grandmother was 100% French. And I got a picture of them both. I got a picture of my grandfather, which was taken sometime between the late 50s, early 60s. And then I got a picture of my great-grandmother when she was probably 3-ish, maybe a little younger. But it was actually taken in France, and that was like one of the last pictures that they ever took of her while they were in the old country, so to say. Then my dad's father, they were all Scottish, and which is kind of weird because on my mom's side of the family, they're all German Irish. So we got German Irish on one side, and then we got Sicilian French and Scottish on the other. Yeah, I'm a weird combination, I'm gonna tell you right now. And then on top of it, somewhere along the lines from and I know it's not my grandfather's side, my great-grandfather, it's my great-grandmother. Somewhere on her side of the line, of the French line, there's a strand of Jewish people as well. So I mean, I don't know how everything comes out, I just know bits and pieces. But that would explain the reason why I love baking and stuff so much. Because, from both sides, that side of well, actually from all sides of the family, really. But I love baking. I mean, I think it's almost as relaxing as sitting on, the side of the bank with a fishing pole. Now my problem is on both sides of my mom and my dad's side of the family, alcoholism is very, very strong. There's a lot of alcoholics on both sides of my family. And that is part of the reason why I don't drink. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I do not never drink. It's that I drink in very, very, very moderate consumption. I think the last time I had an actual beer, like, you know, taking the cap off and just drinking out of the bottle, was probably three years ago. Now, about a year and a half to 2 years before that, I actually had a 12 ounce can. I think it was Budweiser, or was it MGD? I don't know. It was just a 12 ounce can of beer. And I drank about half of it, and when they weren't looking, I just turned it upside down and poured it out and threw the can off on the side. But I don't drink. I really don't. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't ever. I just don't find, I mean, true point, honestly, you give me a glass of tea, sweet tea, Yankee tea, anything of that nature, I would much rather drink that than a beer or alcohol any day. Now, don't get me wrong, I do make it, but I don't drink it. And like I said, the reason why is alcoholism runs so high on both sides of my family. That's why I don't drink. Now, being at 50 years old, I don't think I have to worry about turning into an alcoholic. But you never know. And, you know, so I just, you know, it is what it is. Now, wine, I don't mind drinking some wine. Now, I will have a few glasses of wine in a year's time. And when I say a few, like maybe one glass of wine, or one half of a cup, like down to here. That's not even a half, it's about a third. But anyway, just a little bit of wine once every couple of months or once every so many months, because actuality wine, red wine, is good for people like me, in moderation. Now, most of the problems within the country nowadays, there's no such thing as moderation. Look at all these fat asses walking around the United States because, well, let's go to McDonald's and get me a couple hamburgers and a cheeseburger or some fries out of the drive-through line, and I eat that 2 or 3 times a day. No wonder you look like a damn pig walking around on 2 legs, because you don't eat moderation. You just keep eating all this greasy ass deep fried food. No, don't get me wrong, I like deep fried food. I do. But you got to eat in moderation. And that's the problem that a lot of people in this country do not understand is moderation. It's either go home or go big. It's one of the two. No, I ain't gonna lie. I got me a small belly on me. But I weighed myself the other night before I took a shower, and I was 180 pounds. I haven't weighed 100, well, my weight fluctuates. It's between 180 and 190. And it's been doing that for about a year now. But for the longest time, I was in the 200 plus range. And when I did weigh 180 pounds, shit, I was like in 6th, 7th, maybe 8th grade at that. I never weighed anything like that, you know, in years and years and years. But it is what it is. Because once they say, oh, you're diabetic and you can't eat this and you can't eat that and you can't have this and you can't have that, and I followed my diet to the strictest of routines. I went from a size like 44 waist down to a size 30 waist in less than 6, well, I would say 6 months, in about a year. In a year's time, I dropped 10 plus pant sizes in a year's time. And my weight, I mean, I was like sickly looking. I still had a belly though, but I was skinny. I was getting a lot skinnier, and because I had cut out everything. Then I was like, you know what? You know, I don't want to look like I'm an Auschwitz kid. I don't want to sit here and, you know, deprive myself of everything. So I started slowly bending the rules and breaking the rules, but I did it in moderation. And, you know, I would have a soft drink in a week. Now there was times over the summer I was like, man, you know, water's good and all, unflavored tea's okay. I want me a Pepsi, so I'd get me a Pepsi, and the next day I'd get me another Pepsi. Next day I'd get me another Pepsi, and then next thing you know, my weight started coming back because if you quit drinking soft drinks altogether for 1 week, you will lose 10 to 20 pounds and at least one pant size. And if you keep off soft drinks for a period of time, you will lose all kinds of weight. And if you cut a lot of sugar out of your diet, man, you know, you might get flabby, but man, you will lose weight like crazy. But that's the problem. People don't want to lose weight. People don't want to do anything because they want to take a pill, because the pills on TV says if you take this pill and, you know, you can eat what you want and everything else and you'll lose weight, and they'll go back to eating cheeseburgers and pizza and all this other crazy shit while taking this pill. Then like, I can't figure out why I'm not losing weight for, because pills don't do it. You gotta get off your ass and exercise, and on top of exercising, you gotta eat in very moderate portions of food every time you sit down at the table, or whatever, however you eat. But it is what it is. I got all kinds of goodies I'm working on. One of the breads I have inside there, I think it's called the Polish Housewife's something bread. And it's a crazy bread. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. I'm making it. One of the crazy ass ingredients in it, besides eggs, is sauerkraut. And I love sauerkraut. I can eat sauerkraut till I turn green and hit the floor and pass out or puke, one of the three. Or all three. But I have a great big ass piece of corned beef in the fridge I'm going to cook here soon. And then once I cook it, I'm going to let it rest and chill and get nice and firm in the refrigerator. I'm going to take my meat slicer I have back here behind me that you can't see. I'm going to fire up that meat slicer. I'm going to slice Reuben probably about the thickness of my pinky. And then once that sauerkraut bread comes out of the oven, which is a type of rye bread, because it calls for rye flour, a little bit of regular flour, and then, you know, sauerkraut and a bunch of other stuff. And once that's made and everything else, I'm going to take that Reuben, and a little bit of extra sauerkraut, even though there's sauerkraut in the bread. I'm going to put some sauerkraut in the sandwich as well. You can't have too much sauerkraut. And I'm going to put my sauce on there and some other things and some cheese and probably cook it in the skillet. Man, it's going to be good. It'd be like a grilled cheese / Reuben all at the same time. You can't go wrong with that. Now here's my thing, and I don't know how y'all cook y'all's corned beef, but I get me a decent sized pot. Well, I don't have one on hand. It's probably a 4, maybe a 6 quart kind of pot, stainless steel pot, and I pour probably 3.5 to 4.5 cups of apple cider vinegar inside the pot. Then I'll put maybe 1.5 to 2 cups of water, and then I'll put a little bit of pickle juice in there. When I say a little bit of pickle juice, I'm talking like a regular sized jar of nothing but pickle juice. Just pour that inside there. Put that Reuben inside there with the seasoning and let her cook on a low heat, and just let her just simmer and cook and everything. And I'll take it out and put it on a resting plate, cover it up with some foil, stick it in the fridge, let them juices kind of come out and kind of mend with it. And yeah, then I'll slice her up and make me a Reuben. And where we slice up and eat it on sandwiches. And it has a really good pickly, vinegary / pickly kind of flavor to it. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are going, oh my God, it sounds horrible. But me and the wife fight over who drinks the pickle juice in the refrigerator. You know, when I say fight, yeah, I don't want to say we knock each other out, but yeah, if it's sitting unattended and it sits there for more than a few hours, one of us is in there going glug 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 on pickle juice, and I mean we drink it like crazy. We got friends of ours that see us do it and they get sick and they're like, oh, I can't believe you're drinking, it's making me sick. And we're just like, man, it tastes so damn good, you can't help it. Oh, that one went down too quick. But it is what it is. But anyway, I got the box ordered for some bumblebee bees. It'll be in soon. My live bees will come in somewhere between April. No, is it March and April or mid-April? It's one of the two, around April-ish. That's all I know. And then between not this Friday, but next, because I get paid this Friday and the wife gets paid next Friday. So when she gets paid next Friday, I'm gonna go out and order some containers, round containers, and I don't care if I have them set or yet or not, but I'm gonna get at least 3 of them and have them off to the side. And yeah, I'm probably buying my starter cuts of my potatoes sometime next month, maybe March, and have them put in the ground. And I'm gonna have all kinds of goodies this year. I gotta find online, there's a name for it, I can't think of what it's called. It's the chemical you stick in the bug sprayer, and you gotta pressurize it and everything else, mix it with some water and spray your peach trees, keeps all them stupid bugs off there. So that way when your peach tree flowers, when the bugs come in to lay their eggs in the flower, you know, you spray beforehand, it'll kill them, and you know, you don't have holes in your peaches and they're all halfway rotted through halfway through the season because the bug came in, landed on your flower, and you laid its eggs on the flower. So that way when it turns into fruit, the eggs are right there with the fruit, and yeah, it screws everything up. So I got ordered that chemical spray. I never had a problem with apple trees. I get spots on them, but I never had any issue with like them board bugs, or what do you want to call them. There's other things I'm gonna have to work on this year, and I think whenever I get on my raised containers and everything else, and raised beds and all this other rigmarole kind of stuff, it's like somebody's walking through the door, but ain't nobody's cats in the other room. But once I get some of my containers and everything put together, set up, I'll have a video of me out in the yard and explaining what I'm putting in each box and how I'm gonna do it and everything else. Which, you know, it's most of y'all really don't care, but you know, some of y'all will be like, hey, it's something new. And I am gonna try peanuts again. I did them a couple years ago, and they didn't fare very well. I don't know if I had them in too late, too soon, or if the deers came in and done something to it, or something took place. But yeah, I didn't have any luck with a few years ago doing peanuts, but I am gonna try it again. Ooh, excuse me. There's a bunch of things I'm gonna be doing different this year than I had before. Got off the phone with Montez this past Sunday. We talked about an hour and a half. We're going to be going out in probably May, mid-May-ish, somewhere around there. We're going to spend a couple of days a week doing nothing but root digging, and you know, of course, his schedule's kind of stretched out to where he got some free time. But you know, whatever time he has available and I can go with him or he can go with me, one of the two, we're going out root digging, and we're going to dig as much as possible. Now, we're not going to eradicate places and patches and stuff like that like a lot of people do, but we're going to travel probably a 3-county area amongst different places, and most of it is, like, I don't want to say public ground, but it's kind of like that. And we're just going to travel, and we're going to dig as much root as possible. Everything from mayapple all the way to ginseng. Now, you can't dig ginseng until, I think it's like the second weekend of August. Somewhere in that ballpark. It's when it starts. I can't remember. I know it's sometime in August. It's when it starts. But, you know, everything else, it's free game, and we're going to dig as much as possible without eradicating areas of like patches and stuff like that. One of the things that we can try to eradicate is mayapple. Mayapple around here is so crazy spread all over the place that, you know, you could have 100 acres of it and dig 99.9 acres of all that mayapple and leave that one little bitty piece there, and next year you'd come back and over half of the 100 acres is back full of mayapple again. It's that crazy, and that's how it spreads. It's, I mean, it's crazy, but it's okay. Mayapple root does not bring a lot of money, but you know, even if it brings $6 a pound dry, you know, that's $6 I didn't have, and you can dig tons of it. I mean, tons of it from the very first time of spring until the last part of frost. I mean, you can dig that stuff like crazy and have tons and tons of it. But, you know, like I said, you know, you can't kill that crop out because there's so much of it around here that, you know, it's unbelievable. But we're going to be picking morels as much as possible as well. The reason we're going to be trying doing that, because he knows some people that that does a lot of, like, he knows people that have like an Oriental type restaurant and other places like that, because he does all kinds of weird video things and meets up with people and shares information and everything else. So we're going to be on the hunt for some more morels so we can sell them to the cooks and the chefs and everybody else and make a little bit more pocket money, because those things bring crazy prices. I mean, crazy prices. A 5-gallon bucket of morels around here is probably about $8,000 to $10,000. Believe it or not, it's crazy, but people will pay it because a lot of people don't know where to get it. They don't, you know, they don't know the trains, and then when you have that kind of mushroom type stuff cooked up with a high-end kind of dish, you can charge even more money for it. So it is what it is. And then on top of it, there's going to be a lot more fishing episodes, because me and Puckett and me, Puckett and the little one, or me Montez and Puckett and the little one, or whoever, we're going to be doing a lot of fishing this year too. That's another reason why I've already made it clear to even some of the people that I go to market with that, no, I'm not going to be there every weekend. There's going to be times I'm talking about, yeah, I'm not coming next weekend because we got an excursion going on. We're going fishing, or we're going root digging, or we're doing both, or you know, something, because, you know, this past year we got thrown to the wolves at the market, and on setup wise, and a couple of years ago I made bank at market, and this year it's kind of like, and if it's still the same setup and everything else, I'm not gonna spend all my time trying to please and satisfy people at the market. I'm gonna take some personal time, and we're gonna go out fishing and hunting roots, and, you know, doing all kinds of other doodads and whatever else may take place. So, you know, it is what it is. I feel like the guy from the old Micro Machine commercial when he's talking 100 miles a second. But what else you gotta say? Here I am, my old ugly ass. And yeah. But I guess that's all I need to say, and y'all have a good night. And we're battling ice right now. We got ice in last night. We got sleet and freezing rain, and we're supposed to get some more, I guess, freezing rain in sometime tonight. And then it's supposed to be cold tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday's supposed to be a smidge warmer than it is now. And then like next Sunday, this coming Sunday and Monday, it's supposed to be up in the 60s. And, you know, people always ask me, what's weather like in Kentucky? I'm like, well, you can flip a coin. 1 second it's going to be sunny, next second it's going to be, you know, snowing, next second it's going to be a flood. You know, it never changes. I mean, it's crazy. There's a picture floating around Facebook, one of the local groups shared. I would love to take the picture and put it for my video thing, but it won't fit exactly, and you won't understand the concept of it. I wish to God I could figure out how to put pictures of my little things in here so you can, when it comes up, you can look at it and laugh and carry on. But yeah, Mother Nature in the state of Kentucky this time of year is so highly bipolar. You never know what kind of temperatures you're going to get. You really don't. I mean, it's that crazy. But I guess I will shut up and turn this puppy off and let y'all get back to your everyday normal lives, whatever you're doing. And if you like what I had to say, give me a thumb up. If you don't like what I had to say, give me a thumb down. I mean, the choice is yours. I'm not going to beg you like everybody else does. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click the bell. You know, if you want to do it, that's your business. I'm not going to beg for it. I probably should like everybody else does, but to me that just, I don't know. It kind of makes you feel like, you know, they're needy and they I don't know. I don't want nobody doing nothing that they don't want to do on their own. And kind of like the old army saying, I won't ask you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. Oh, speaking of army things, here's another good thing you can remember too. If you're on time, you're late. Yeah. But y'all have a goodie, and I'll catch y'all again soon.